I saw a short reel of a football coach telling his players that God specializes in taking a nobody and making them somebody in front of everybody for his glory. And that's been so true in my life. I was a nobody. I was a son of an alcoholic, mentally ill mother, got way off track in life, went way down in life. As a teen, into drugs, drinking too much. Um, but God didn't look at that. God looks at what he can do in us, and that's what he did with me. And I love Psalm 40, verse 2, where talks about how God lifted me up out of the mire, out of the muck, and put me on solid ground, on solid rock. And that's what he did. He looked down in life, and there was a big mess. And he lifted me up out of that mess. Um, you know, and he didn't look at where I was at the time. He looked at where he knew he was going to lead me. I love this one saying where God does not call the qualified, he qualifies the called. And that's so true about me. If I look at the Bible, just one example is David in the Old Testament. He was a shepherd boy, and this prophet Samuel came, and David's father Jesse showed him, okay, this is my oldest son, my next son. And God, no, 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 no. And Samuel went and found David with the sheep. Told the 13-year-old boy that's who God called, because God looked at his heart and God knew what he's going to do in David's life. That, I didn't have my heart for God, but I was seeking and searching, trying to figure out where I fit in as a teenager, where I fit in life, because my life, my world was crazy when growing up, and I didn't want to be in that. So I was trying to figure out, who am I? Where do I fit as a teenager, even in my 20s? I spent time with different groups of people, just kind of picking up that one ability of relating with a lot of different kinds of people. God took me from that and led me to a ministry now where I have time. I share time helping people, sharing the love of Jesus with people from so many different countries living here in my city. He's also led me to become a teacher where I teach them. If I go into a cultural center here, or I go to a special event from whatever people group, they recognize me. And I'm treated with respect, which is just amazing to me, because I remember who I was all those years ago. I remember how much of a mess my life was all those years ago. But God doesn't look at the mess we're in. He looks at what he can do when he lifts us up out of that mess, and what he can do as he qualifies us, helping us to get that experience, those experiences we need, helping us to get even education at times. For me, it meant getting my degree. It meant getting a certification for teaching English, those kind of things, along with the experience with people from other people groups. So he had me go on 11 mission trips to other countries: Romania, France, Brazil, Mexico. Um, so he gave me those experiences, and I continue to learn. But I really love Romans 8:28, where it says, God causes all things to work together for good for those who love God and are called according to his purposes. God he takes like all these pieces, kind of like pieces of a jigsaw puzzle, and we can feel like our life is just a pile of pieces, and we're not sure what to do with them. But God knows what to do with those pieces, and he can fit those pieces all together and make it like a beautiful picture if we give those pieces to him. And that's what happened in my life. I gave God those pieces. I didn't see how they fit together. You know, uh, Growing up in an abusive home, alcoholic father, mentally ill mother, problems with drugs as a teenager, drinking too much in my early 20s, just going into becoming a businessman. He took even those pieces, my mistakes, my sins, even those pieces, the experiences I was getting with other, while I was searching. by spending time with different kinds of people, he took those pieces. And then when shortly after I rededicated my life to Christ and was intrigued by students from Africa, he took that. So God can take all those pieces, fit those together, put those pieces together to make it like a beautiful picture, like you do, like you have if you put together a jigsaw puzzle. If we give those pieces to him, that's what he did in my life. God is creative. He is the master artist, and he can do those things in our lives. I love to think about it that way, how he can just take our life, as crazy as it seems, he can make something beautiful out of it. So that our lives become an expression of him, an expression of his glory, an expression of his love. That's what he did with me. If he can do that with me and for me, he can do that for anybody. Seriously, he can really do that for anybody. Just give it to God and see what he does.